Okay, let's have a look at this trade of this morning, which we said in previous videos that we've been taught that the market gives one free trade, sometimes two, sometimes three per day. Last while, the market's back to its tricks that it's been doing since the beginning of the year. It led us to believe last week that it's going to be easy trading, and if you were a safe better in terms of following the rules that you got taught, and also being careful and following rather than predicting, and just keeping to the stuff that has been put in place to keep you safe and your earnings safe, you would understand that even though this morning's trade, it looked like a beautiful trade, and it was, you could have made yourself 130, 140, whatever points. Let's go and work it out quickly. I'll show you on the screen later on what it was. That was, if you took it the moment it broke, that was about 220 points. Now the moment one goes and one says that, you're like, you're experiencing pain again because I missed out on something. Well, you didn't. You never miss out on something. You either took an opportunity or you didn't. For most of the people, that opportunity never came because they sitting with a set of rules in front of them that they follow. That's point number one. Point number two is they haven't quite learned how to bend those rules, and by bending those rules, I'll show that to you a little bit more in the 1 minute. But what would have happened is, if you had to look at the hour, you would have climbed in somewhere around that level, 52040, because that's more or less the highest level that it reached on the previous point, and that's where the previous point's support was, more or less. It's actually slightly lower. I went in at 52039 and I ran it up there. Because it ran so quickly, and that trade was over in 3 minutes, a lot of people whose rules said to them, please start only trading at 9:05, missed that trade, and they are feeling pain afterwards. They are upset that they missed something. Guys, you didn't miss. There was an opportunity. You just didn't take that opportunity at this time. Maybe in the future you will. Because the rule about trading between 9 and 9:05 can only be bent in certain circumstances. And these are those circumstances explained to the best of my ability. If you look at that candle on the hour, what happened there is your momentum spiked and it went nice and fat away from your vein and your vein predict. At that point in time as well, and this, even though this position on the 15 broke at 8:15 already, it had reached its target at that point, which was T4, which is once again that level of 52040. Now, which I slightly climbed in a point earlier than that because I just saw it started running. ML once again above the vein and the vein predict. So there was opportunity there, but geez, it was quick opportunity that you had to take. If I bring the 5 minute into the equation, we have a look at it, you can see in one candle this thing was over and done with. The same thing that had to give you the indication of the opportunity, all of a sudden your divergence lines, the major and the minor, just started pointing upwards. Your vein, your momentum line went all the way up. It just shot up from the previous, where it was just dormant below. The moment that thing started opening up at the speed it was opening up, that could have told you that something is about to happen. But you had to make a decision within the time the time frame, sorry, that you were dealt with. If you had to go and have a look at let's bring the 1 minute into this, just to put it into perspective. At exactly 9 o'clock, which you can't see now, let me just get this right here. Shrink this down a little bit. Okay, at exactly 9 o'clock, this thing broke. And when it had that breakup, color wasn't right here yet. If you had to follow your color rule, you probably would have only climbed in there over there, because that's when good color was exposed. But because all the other ones were starting to point up, even the minor and the major was pointing up here. The moment that your minor crossed the above 80 line, that would have superseded whatever this said, and you would just had to climb in. That's how in tune you have to be with your system in order to take the jump, the leap of faith as well. And you could have ran it up until, have a look at that, 3 minutes. From 9 o'clock, 4 minutes, because this one started it, so that's 4 minutes, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 minutes, that was the trade. By the time you had the chance to see good color appearing, this trade was over. If you followed your rules and said, I cannot trade because of the balancing of the books that's happening on the stock exchange between 9 and 9:05, you would have missed this trade. That is the trade in a nutshell.